Hey, what's up guys? This is Seawall here, and today we're talking about the XT2 again and the XT2's video. Now, for the last couple of months I've been focused on the XT2 as I've made a transition from Canon into Fuji. And today we're going to look at some real-world examples, some projects I've used the XT2 with, some locations I've shot with it, and just different environments and different scenarios, both with proper lighting like this YouTube video, and some with just natural lighting, either being fluorescent bulbs, daylight, you name it. Let's take a look. Here's an example of some footage shot at a church. Now these are two individuals who were doing like a special song, and I just took out the camera, sat in the front bench, threw the Leica lens on there, started filming. And by the way, I'm not using Fuji lenses, not because Fuji lenses aren't good, but there's a special sauce I think Leica has when it comes to glass. But here's some examples of what the camera could do in different lighting environments. And here we can see I just threw up the aperture 120D. I had the aperture 120 half W, which is this light here. See, this is why it's pretty useful. It's small, it's flat. I can put this in the backpack with the power cord, and I'm good to go. But I use this light as a edge light or here light in the background of the 120D in this video here. I also use it in this video here too, the same 120 half W. And you can see the results. It's not just accurate color because of the camera, but it's accurate color because of the light. And so there are some here, these are some real working examples of the XT2 in the wild. And there's some other videos I'm gonna link in the description below. Now, one thing I wanna mention here, this is the special announcement. Over the last couple of months, I've been working on a project called Maisha. Now, Maisha in Swahili, which is where I got the name from, it means life. And what I'm essentially doing here is I'm talking about the lives of some refugees, and I'm comparing them to first world countries. These people who came from third world countries, and they've actually migrated to America, and I'm comparing their lives to the lives of people who were born in America and have experienced first world living. It's gonna be interesting, guys. It's my first official film. I've done some projects for other people before, but this is my first film, and it's going to be coming out very soon. So check it out. I'm going to be using the XT2 to shoot 90% of it. I did some shots with the GH4. I've done some shots with my iPhone as well. I started with the GH4, and here's some footage from the GH4. And the footage was fine. You know, I knew I needed to. I was planning on using the Metabones. I was planning on using some Sigma glass. I was planning on using some my aperture lights. And the reason I was using the Sigma glass has been known for being sharp. The GH4 had I believed some control over the picture, and you can kind of give it a more filmic look. I was going to use the Metabones because it would give me more shallow depth of field on something like a micro four thirds sensor like the GH4. But when I started looking at the footage, I did do some grading on this video right here. I'm going to show you the before, and here's the after. When I looked at the footage, and I'm not necessarily compared it to the XT2, but I didn't even want to compare it. I just saw that there was a stark contrast between the two. And then I decided to shoot the rest of the film with the XT2. And here's some footage from the XT2. This is an interview here I started to do with a young man I met maybe a couple months before. Here's another interview of one of the refugees at a local church using just this light here. I didn't have the 120D at the time. I was just using the half W. And here's another example of what the XT2 can do. This is another interview of a friend of mine. He had a lot to say in the film. And so the next coming weeks, I'm going to be putting the XT2 through more paces of interviews. And I actually put it through its paces when I did this last project. I mounted the Zeiss Otis lens, a 28mm 1.4. I did so many different things with the XT2, and yes, people have said it can lock up, it can freeze, and you know those things were part of my concern. But in these projects, I haven't experienced any of that stuff. It's been working flawlessly, and so the purpose of this video, I really wanted to give you guys a quick sneak peek into what I'm working on, but also to show you guys that the XT2 and any camera for that matter can be used for production. Now, if you're going to be doing professional work all the time, and people are dependent on you, you may, especially if it's a smaller camera or something that's you think is unreliable, you may want to have a backup in those situations. If you're using something like an iPhone to do professional work, you may want to do some tests before you go out and do the work for whoever it is. Because there's been commercials shot with iPhones, and I don't think it's specifically that's what the client wanted in terms of I want an iPhone video. And maybe if they did want it, they just wanted to showcase that it could be done. But for whatever reason, people wanted it to be done, and sometimes it's just a particular look they want. So it all depends. But I would say, you know, a person who is gonna buy the GH5 specifically for long recordings like a seminar or even a conference, I highly recommend the GH4. What I've seen with the GH5 is sharpness. I've seen that people are able to color grade it, which is great, and I'm able to color grade the XT2 as well, and it is also sharp. So my reasons for getting the GH5 are becoming smaller and smaller, but I know I need it for a particular purpose. So guys, this has been another XT2 video, why you should use it for video, and this is Sewell here. Until next time guys, peace.